Today I'm finishing up the heels on a pair of shoes that I'm making. The heels are not made of wood, they are made of leather. This is a piece of sole leather, and I've been adding these one layer at a time and leveling each layer, and I'm ready to add the last one. I've got the last heel layer on, and as you can see there's just an ugly area here where I've stacked the layers. Each one stacks a little bit on top of the other. So they're overhanging and they're not smooth at all. This area of the heel is called the heel breast. And what I'm going to do now is trim the heel breast. And I'm going to use this double-handled knife. Now, shoemakers that I've known don't trim the heel breast straight. They take a knife like this and cut a curve into it. But I have never tried that, and normally a shoe has 3 layers of leather to build the heel, and this one has 6. So just freehand cutting that at a curve sounds kind of scary to me. So I'm going to cut my heel breast straight. What I'm doing here is I'm drawing a line, a straight line, to show me where I want that heel breast trimmed off. Now I'm going to connect those 2 lines, and I like to cut just a little groove here to give me something to seat that knife in. Now I'm just going to use my knife, seat it right down there in that groove, and then begin rolling it back and forth in a slicing motion right down that line that I drew. Now the fear always is that you'll cut through and cut into the sole, but actually if you're paying attention you can feel a pop when it slices through the last layer and hits the hard finish of the sole. And if you've got a little stubborn bit right there that doesn't want to come out, you can take a knife and just gently trim it out. There we go. Always roll your knife toward the boot or the shoe. Don't do this, because when you do this, if you bring it off the edge, you'll slip and slice the side of your boot. Now I'm going to clean this up just in case there are any jagged spots or a bubble or anything. I'm going to clean it up with this really elaborate tool that I made. This is a paint stick from the local hardware store. I have sanded the edges at an angle to make a bevel so I can get down in tight areas. And then I just cemented a piece of sandpaper to it. And now I have a nice smooth heel breast. My featured product this week is a lasting jack from Dick Anderson of Thornapple River Boots. That's thornappleriverboots.com. When I was first looking for a lasting jack for my shop, I saw some from several other makers, but I really liked Dick's the best. They're functional, but they're also elegant. They work great, and you just won't do better than a lasting jack from Dick Anderson at Thornapple River Boots. I'm here with my student Brittney, and Brittney just finished her first pair of cowboy boots. The really cool thing about Brittney is 4 years ago she was my very first student. We had a little shoemaking class with Brittney and my daughter Paige, and she made a pair of shoes. And now she's back apprenticing in my shop, and she just finished her first pair of cowboy boots.
I'm so excited.
So tell me, Brittney, what attracted you to boot shoemaking?
Well, the first time I had seen it was when you were doing it at the Western Heritage Museum, the Cowboy Museum.
Oh, okay.
And I saw you in seaming, and I thought that was kind of cool, but I think I was like 12.
That was at
the Chuck Wagon Festival in Cowboy Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Okay.
And I hadn't heard about anything, and we just kind of flipped through your book and like, oh, that's cool, and then went on, and I totally forgot about it. And then we went down to the Homestead Heritage with the Glecks, and they did a demonstration, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like, oh, I want to do that, and we were talking to them afterwards, and they're like, wait a minute, where do y'all live? I'm like, Guthrie, Oklahoma. They're like, that's where Lisa Sorrell is. And we're like, oh yeah! And so we came back from that. That was around Thanksgiving. So
2008 maybe?
we came up here to talk to you,
Mm-hmm.
and you were going to do a class. I'm like, oh, that would be so cool.
Because
And
that class, wasn't that right after Christmas or around
it was
Christmas?
right before Christmas. And we were rushing to do it in like 3 days.
Yeah, it was a 3-day
It
class.
was like really fast, but I thought it was so cool to be able to use the skills I had from sewing
Uh-huh.
and to do something totally different, because I liked the diversity, the leather. I've always loved leather, and just, I don't know, it just seemed like a whole new world that I already kind of had a few of the skills for.
That's one reason I've always been really interested in teaching you is because your background is so similar to mine, and you were attracted to shoemaking for the same reasons. When I found boot making, I loved it because I got to use my sewing background that you had also, but I also got to hammer things.
Right. Yeah. It's just a lot more physical.
Right.
And just kind of cooler than sewing.
I agree.
One day I was scooting up to my sewing machine and I was hopping my chair forward to get it scooted up closer, and I hopped right onto my sewing machine pedal, and that was the day I realized that the upper is not the most important thing to me, it's my fingers, because my sewing machine just took off.